This question goes to Mr. Ferry. Do you support question 1, which would eliminate the income tax, which accounts for about 40% of the state's budget? Should it pass, how would you recommend the state make up the difference?
As I've answered this question numerous times before, I don't think it's an issue of whether or not I, as an individual, support it. As an elected representative of the people, especially of the 7th Bristol District, if their vote is that this issue passes, then their voice has to be heard. This issue would not have come up at all had the legislature initially listened to the voters when they asked for a rollback of the income tax. My problem with question 1, and I'm very vocal about this, is that the question is being sponsored by a lot of people who are from out of state, who have no vested interest in what our economy is here in the Commonwealth. Question 1 would be devastating to local cities and towns. It would be devastating to the state budget. But by the amount that it would curtail revenues, the state can also cut back its waste. And it has been proven that we have at least a minimum of a 28% waste in state government, either through duplication of services or monies that aren't properly accounted for or monies that are spent frivolously. And those are issues that the people want addressed. That is why question 1 came up. If I were elected and question 1 passed, I would do everything necessary to be sure that the Commonwealth stood on its own and that effects to cities and towns were minimized, especially to our local aid and more especially to our school budgets. Education is the backbone of any economy, and without it, we just won't produce in this Commonwealth.
Yeah, I think I've answered this question over and over again as well, and it's a major issue, and it's an issue of whether this is a message. Is the voters going to try and send a message that they want reform, or we're going to have a binding $12 billion taken out of the budget? So I think that's the major issue here of what the actual question is. And we cannot, in this state, think that if this vote passes, that $12 billion is going to come out of the state and it's not going to affect our schools or our public safety or our local aid. It's going to affect us in a great deal. So what's going to end up happening and what would have to happen? Property taxes would shoot up, Prop 2.5 overrides would have to go, all the fees, that any kind of fee that could be presented to raise more revenue, because you need to get revenue for the programs that would be cut. And the programs that would be cut are not fat, they're not programs that are not beneficial, needed services to the needy people, children, the elderly, you name it. They're needy programs that are funded through the tax. So the fact of the matter is, what would happen? There would be an increase in all areas, in my view, of revenue raising in the entire city. So I think it would be devastating, and I'm urging everyone to not support this, because it would immediately put state government, if we think state government's in trouble already with the cuts that just happened and the devastation and all of the programs that were already eliminated in people's jobs, can you imagine what's going to happen if this passes? So I stand firm on my belief that we should vote this down.